All right, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this PTA meeting for Tuesday, April the 12th. So very excited to welcome all of you, and thanks for joining us. I got several different topics to talk about tonight, so let me go through the agenda here. So first we'll start with the quick president's report, approval of minutes, treasurer's report, and then motions for reallocation. We've got a couple of committee members that are absent today, so the committee members report should go pretty quickly. Updates from administration, and then our key topic here is the Spring Festival, and we'll also talk about some of the upcoming events. One of the things in the president's report is, of course, the nominating committee, so we'll be sure to get to that. All right, just a quick recap on Mathathon. It was the first time that we have done a fundraiser for the school of this magnitude in a very, very long time. So many years the school went with Boosterthon and decided to do things in-house this year. And for the first year, I think it went very, very well. But I know there are a lot of people that are here that did more of the planning on it than I did. So I want to turn it over to Lauren and Amy, and if Karen's here too, just to kind of give an update on that in a more succinct way than I can.
Sure, I can go ahead and start. We had a goal of raising $10,000, and we were so close. We raised $9,350, which was amazing. When you see the treasurer's report shortly, you'll see it wasn't quite that much went into our bank account because of fees, but those fees are significantly less than if we had used an outdoor vendor like Boosterthon. We have lots of lessons learned for doing Mathathon next year. The kids had a lot of fun. They loved getting to pie Mr. McCrae and Miss Mikowski, and they were excited for their popcorn parties. And I know Mr. Pluff in fifth grade had them going every day. Sorry, Miss Thibodeau, you need to step it up next year, because I think Mr. Pluff is like all about getting those kids to do their puzzles. I think he had one student who did over 1,000 puzzles over the course of a week. Which was huge. So, next year we again, like we know that we'll start kind of advertising it earlier, and we have some lessons learned. But I think it was a great time, and the kids really enjoyed it, and we have some funds going forward, which is great.
Gotcha. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Amy. Lauren, anything to add on that?
Nope, I was just basically their Facebook lady. They did
Nice.
the hard stuff.
Gotcha. All right. So just to kind of give you an update. Oh, actually, before we go on to that, so Ms. Mikowski, you had stepped out, but Amy said that a lot of the students really enjoyed being able to pie you in the face. So I just wanted to get your perspective. What was it like being pied, and did you enjoy it?
I will say moving forward, we're going to do that in the afternoon, because I was tasting lemon meringue from about 8:30 until I showered when I got home that afternoon.
So what you're saying is it left a sour taste in your mouth?
Look, just a slight. And everybody thought I didn't have it because Chad is bald. And so the whipped cream was very clear. With the lemon meringue, you just couldn't really see as it was crusted to the cheeks. But, we're all team players, and it was fun.
Yeah. Good. Well, it was good support. All right. We're looking forward to even having a more successful one next year. And I think, some of the discussions have been having it a little bit more frequently, but maybe not on such a grandiose scale, because I think a lot of the kids really enjoyed playing the puzzles, and it was a good learning opportunity. So whenever you can have fun and make money, for the school, it's always a fantastic opportunity. All right, School of Excellence program, just as a recall on that one, the School of Excellence is a national PTA program. We've done some surveys for that. We've identified that one area that parents have said that they could use a little, they wish they had a little bit more assistance with, was the transitions, whether it's transitioning to sixth grade, transitioning to just to the school in general as a kindergartner, or even transitioning into the AAP program. That's something that they wanted to see a little more assistance with. So that is something that we addressed this year, and we are continuing to work on that. So just to give you an idea of some of the things that are coming down the pike, we separated it into kindergarten, AAP, sixth grade, military families as well, and had some other sections. And the idea really is to pull this together as a very comprehensive manual for people that they can get as early as kindergarten and to be able to transition throughout the course of the student's life cycle. I know Bobby Grady, I'm going to put you on the spot here since I saw that you're here. Anything you wanted to add to that? And Robin as well. I see you're here, Robin Monin. They worked on the kindergarten section, which was the first one that was due. Nope.
I don't know if Bobby's talking or not, but hi everybody, I'm Robin. Yeah, I don't really have much to add. I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, I think we finished it, but yeah. Anyway, I don't really have much. I don't know if Bobby does or not.
No worries. No, I think it was great. I'll just give you a little sneak peek into the kindergarten side of things. Really just tried to look at things like, how do you register, what to expect, getting to know your classmates before school starts, which is, of course, a good way to join the PTA. So thank you for that plug there. Getting your children ready for school, after school programs, how to stay in touch, helpful apps and helpful links. So it's a good supplement, I think, to what's covered in orientation. And again, it's a good reference point for them to parents to look at, throughout the year, especially as they get closer to the start of school year where they'll be asking these questions again. And then some of the other sections that we've got in here are, again, AAP, transitioning over to 6th grade, which we can bring up that in a little bit. And then also a big section on the military as well, which doesn't look like it's in there, but I know we did get something on the military. So I'm super happy with how that's progressing, and it'll be a good resource for parents moving forward. The next step is that we will have another survey that goes out a little bit towards the end of the year, and then we'll have our final application on June 1st. So it'll be here before we know it. All right. I'll come back to the nominating committee. One update here, the school board meeting. We did have 2 school board members that came and talked to the school. It was Dr. Ricardi Anderson of the Mason District, as well as Ms. Megan McLaughlin of the Braddock District. And they talked about the 6th grade transition discussion that's going on throughout Fairfax County. If you're not familiar with that, long and short is that we have, currently 5th grade is that, currently 5th grade is in the middle school level, 6th grade is at the middle school level only within the Mason District schools. So like Holmes, Poe, Glasgow. And so right now it's also in the elementary school throughout the rest of the county. So the discussion is, where does 6th grade belong? And that's something that's been really an ongoing conversation for a little while. And there's lots of varied differences. I'm happy to get into it another time, but don't want to take up more of the PTA meeting, kind of going into those details. But there are a lot of discussions going on right now. And there is a survey that should be closing soon. So if you want to weigh in and share your thoughts on whether 6th grade should be elementary or middle school, please feel free to fill that survey out. You can find that out at fcps.edu. But we had a lot of North Springfield parents that were there and had 2 school board members that really listened to some concerns, and had another special guest who lives in the neighborhood but is not a current North Springfield parent, but she was very, very helpful, very insightful. All right. So that said, I do want to turn the floor over to our nominating committee. As you know, last month, we approved a nominating committee, and those members are in our minutes. So just so everyone's aware, we have, and I apologize for butchering some of the names here, Taylor Berry. She's one of our teachers, illustrious teachers at our school. We've got Tim Din, the 5th grade parent, and we have Ishan Vaig, who's a community member. So those members were approved at our last meeting, and I believe that they have met, discussed, and have a slate of candidates that they want to present. So I'm not sure which member of the committee is going to be doing the presentation, but I'm happy to yield the floor or the screen over to you.
Hi, Ken. My name is
Hey,
Tim.
Tim. Hi there.
We have a select group of people who are running for office right now. Just real quick to run over the objectives of their responsibilities. The president-elect, obviously you serve 1 year in a term and pretty much a member of the finance committee. perform duties as a president in case the president is unable to support the president in moving their organization to achieve the outcomes. The next one is the vice president of enrichment. Once again, that's a one-year term. Practically all these are one-year terms. And they pretty much manage their reservation for PTA events and after-school programs. They recruit chairs for each of their program committees and provide support for programs and their volunteers. You also have a position for vice president of fundraising. Once again, one-year term. They work with the school volunteers, parents, and student staff and community members to oversee all fundraising activities. So we have a vice president of membership. That's once again, one-year term. That position develops, implements, and coordinates an annual membership initiative focused on recruitment, retention, and diversification. As always, we have the treasurer, the one-year term. They keep accurate records and submit written financial statements for the meeting. They ensure an audit and financial review or compilation is done in accordance with the bylaws. Then we have the secretary, one-year term. They record the meeting minutes, maintain local unit bylaws and amendments. They're responsible for maintaining all PTA correspondence, including communications with members and notification for meetings. That's the gist of it. I'm sure there's a lot more work involved than what I just stated, but that's the gist of those positions. Currently, I'm going to go down and I'm going to talk first about the treasurer's position. I would like to present to you Daniel Delboy. He has a 3rd and 5th grade parent. I'm sorry, he's a parent of a 3rd and 5th grader. I'm sorry. And currently he's the vice president of membership. His background is in finance with previous experience as vice president of fundraising with North Springfield Elementary School and student accounts office at George Mason University. Dan's goal is to balance and push PTA forward with a balanced budget, contribute to new learning and always fun adventures for students and staff. Fun is the key here. So Dan would like to do that. I'd like to present to you Dan Delboy for treasurer. Next, we have Lauren Thorne. She has a kindergarten or first grader. Currently she's currently the secretary, and her role includes experience in the duties and commitments. And her view is she's looking forward to do more student activities for the coming year and working to better support school staff and teachers as a community, which is very important. We should always have great support with the staff and the teachers as a community. So that's awesome right there. We have Bobby Grady running for vice president of fundraising. Bobby has a kindergartner, and she's active and volunteer for past PTA events. We all know her. Bobby, if you can, wave or say hello if you're on the mic to everybody. She has experience with Fairfax County Public School as a public health nurse and fundraising campaign. So it brings a lot of experience to fundraising. She wants to focus on New Year goals based on what the teachers and the students need for success, including better access to books, and encouraging community involvement. We always want the community to get involved. So Bobby has, has a great message to send out there. For vice president of enrichment, we have 2 candidates. We have Karen, I apologize if I butchered his name, Karen Chmielewski.
Very close. Chmielewski.
Chmielewski, I'm sorry.
No, you did a
Forgive
great
me.
job. Thank you.
And then we also have Caitlin Amarin. And first coming Karen, she has a kindergartner and currently in a current year vice president of enrichment. Her experience is in working with within the bylaws and has a strong background in project management, which is when it brings a lot of valuable assets right there. Her goal is to continue the enrichment of activities for another year, including ongoing after-school activities, along with one-offs. So she brings a lot of experience right there. Moving on, we have another candidate for that too, which is Caitlin Amarin. Like I said, Caitlin is passionate to serve North Springfield Elementary and the PTA board and members. So she has the passion. Her goal is to improve the quality of the student education experience at North Springfield Elementary and parent-teacher relationships in the new year. So those are worth championing right there from Caitlin. So she brings that. The other two positions we have, the vice president membership is empty right now, it's vacant. There were some people who drew some interest in there, but we haven't had anybody to submit. They haven't officially submitted anything. They just drew some attention and caught some attention, but we don't have anybody currently enrolled or has interest in that. Also, the president-elect, once again, is vacant. Nobody showed desire to fill that position, so that's vacant. And those are two that are left on. Mr. Ken Brena, I would like to present these candidates to you. Once again, let me repeat the names again. We have Daniel Delboy for treasurer, Lauren Thorne for secretary, Bobby Grady for vice president of fundraising, vice president of enrichment, Karen Chmielewski, and vice president of enrichment, Caitlin Amarin. And those are who we have to present to you. And we can look forward to a great experience with them. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the presentation, Tim. And thank you so much for the committee members for all their hard work and reviewing, especially on a short time frame. Thank you for all the volunteers who stepped up and are interested in serving PTA and serving your community. So just as this is a quick procedural thing, we do not need to take a vote on this tonight. The bylaws say that we have to present a slate of candidates at least 30 days in advance. And so we are within the 38-day time frame, or the 30-day time frame. So the slate gets sort of put on the table until it's our June meeting, because we vote per the bylaws at our final meeting of the year, which does remind me we do need to change the date of the June meeting because it technically falls after school ends. So that is an item we'll have to consider what day we have our next June PTA meeting. So thank you again for that. If you are interested, the process still allows you to run, even if the nominating committee did not put your name forward for candidacy for voting. You can run as a floor nominee at our June meeting. I would suggest and encourage that particularly the two people who have been put forward for enrichment, just so we don't have a contested election, which sometimes can result in some hurt feelings. Speaking from past experience where I've seen that happen, I would encourage, since there is an open position for the VP of membership, that one of you possibly consider moving into that role or considering running for that role. So just some food for thought, things to consider. But thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. There's nothing else that we need to do from the nominating committee right now. So if you continue to find, if you find a candidate for president-elect, feel free to let us know and we can put them forward as a floor nominee. The president-elect position is something that the Virginia PTA is phasing out. So next year, the next school year would be the last time that there would be a president-elect position that automatically becomes president. Moving forward, we'll be going back to just having a president model where it possibly would allow the president to stay on for a subsequent year, but also makes it difficult somewhat from a continuity perspective. So I'm not going to say I agree with Virginia PTA's decision to phase out that position, but it does make it more difficult on the nominating committee. So definitely understand your predicament, but consider running for those two positions, VP of membership or for the president-elect position. All right. Any questions about the nominating committee or the nominees or the process? No, no questions. All righty. Well, why don't we continue on then? And the next upcoming events that we have on the president's report, just to share. All right. So upcoming events. April 22nd, we've got the return of movie night. It's a little movie called Encanto. Not sure if anybody's ever heard of that. If you go around the school, you probably will never hear any students singing any songs from the movie. But it is a very, very fun movie, good Disney movie. So we'll be showing that on April 22nd. Along with movie night, there is pre-sales for food. So everybody should have gotten a printed flyer in one of the Thursday folders and have some more announcements that go out to registration for dinner to help us to be able to manage the amount of pizza and other food that we need to bring. But anybody else want to talk a little bit about movie nights?
I will say we're showing it in the gym and the library. The library will be a little bit quieter for those that may enjoy it in a more quiet environment. Yeah, we'll do pre-sales. I think it's pizza and tacos, and yeah, I think that's about it. But Ken, we have like 5 minutes left with Amy, so we may want to just go out of order for a minute.
Okay, sounds good. I'll turn it over to Amy then.
Sure, thanks. Ken, do you have the treasurer's report already up? Did I see that?
I do have the treasurer's report.
You can just pull it from there. So in addition to, for the movie night, we'll have pizza, tacos again, which you can order ahead of time. And then also there will be concessions there as well. You can still get pizza and tacos, but then 5th grade will also be running concessions as well as part of their annual fundraising efforts. Okay, so we have had a good month. One, because we had mathathon. Let's see, we are we had a couple new members, so that's where that's reflected. We had a flocking, and then we're still selling spiritware. So if you want to go online, you can go onto our Member Hub store and buy some spiritware. We will be transitioning to new spiritware soon, but we need to kind of take care of the inventory that we have now. And our restaurant nights in particular, El Paso was a very successful restaurant night. So that's where that is coming from. And also framing. So art framing is both something that some years, like PTA has provided funds for materials for art framing. And this year, the materials have already been available. And so we've just been getting a lot of money from it. So just in last month, we got $164 for that. For those who don't know what it is, Miss Pomeroy, our art teacher, selects art from different grades, and she has some people come on a Tuesday night to frame the artwork and hang it in the cafeteria. And then she brings the kids through the cafeteria to look at all the other kids' art. So she's done kindergarten first and 2nd grade a few months ago. She's 3rd and 4th grade are up right now. And 5th grade art is going to be framed. If you are available, she would love to have you come out next Tuesday, the 19th at 7 o'clock to come and help her and Miss Buckreese, who's one of our preschool teachers, do some framing and then hanging of the art. The way that Families can then, if their child's art is selected and is framed, they can choose to purchase the framed art. Otherwise, the art will get sent home as it normally does, but families have the option to purchase the framed art. And again, 5th grade is going to be the next group to be framed. So anyway, so that's art framing. If you're available next Tuesday at 7 to help out with that, that would be wonderful. I will put Ms. Pomeroy's email in the chat in just a minute. I think that's pretty much it. I was looking at my notes for today. Are there any questions about anything?
What is the other income?
Oh, that other income is
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we're doing very well. I was really excited the other day when I checked our bank account and saw how much money was in there. So we're looking forward to doing some really great things with those funds as well.
Gotcha.
In addition to Ms. Pomeroy's email address, I'm also going to post a link for more information about the middle school configuration in Mason District. It has a lot of answers to a lot of questions in there. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Amy, while you're on, can we just do, because I know we were going to reconfigure funds.
Yes.
Try to vote on, but I figure you're the person.
Yes. Sorry about that. And okay, so we had a number of areas where, you know, when we put this budget back together, or put it together over the summer, and obviously things change over the course of the school year. We didn't know if we'd be able to do things inside. We didn't know if we'd be able to do bingo, which we weren't able to do, you know, all these different things that we weren't sure of. And so, for example, now that like 5th grade field trip changed, and now we have spring fair. So all these things changed. And so we want to get the membership's approval to reallocate some of those funds. So we would like to change the matching 5th grade field trip line to a 5th grade celebration line, which will help to cover the costs of a 5th grade celebration. They're going to have cake. I think that includes t-shirts and yard signs and things like that for the 5th graders. In the past, the PTA helped support their field trip, but that field trip has already been taken care of, and it's going to be next week. And then the second one is to reallocate funds for Parents' Night In and the silent auction for the spring fair, to give the spring fair $525 in terms of just helping with operations. And we do expect that there will be some money coming back to the PTA from the spring fair. So this is just helping to fund the spring fair itself.
All right. So is there a motion, and where is the oh yeah, so the funds, it's hard to see because this is not like the full year budget,
Right.
but it would come from the silent auction. So just with some of the funds we had anticipated income, then there were expenses in the full budget, and then there's what the net budget would be. So what were we looking at in terms of the actual dollar amounts for these?
525 for spring fair.
But are you asking, Ken, about specifically like for each of those?
Right. So like how much for the silent auction, and then how much for the silent auction, and how much for the parents? Was it the Parents' Night In? Yeah, Parents' Night In.
Or Parents' Night Out, whatever. Yeah. I believe it was 300 for the silent auction and 225 for the Parents' Night In.
All right. And that would be what our expenses would have normally been budgeted
events.
for.
Yeah.
All right. So is there a motion to reallocate up to $525 from Parents' Night In and silent auction to now the spring fair?
Motion.
All right. So a motion by Lauren. Is there a second?
A second.
All right. Was that Karen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there any discussion on this?
And just so everyone knows, the spring fair is being funded by a grant the school received. That grant can do a lot of things, and it does wonderful things for our school. it cannot cover the food. So we will have food trucks, and we'll get into that later, but this is specifically to help with those food items, just so everyone's aware.
All right. Is it funding anything else, or is it just specifically food?
Food.
Anything related to food, I think also like plates or something like that, like napkins.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially it's food.
Okay, so food and accessories. All right. Any other discussion items? All right. So hearing none, let me check the chat. Sorry, hearing none. There's been a motion. It's been seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? All right, motion carries and the funds have been reallocated. Thank you so much for that. All right, and thank you, Amy. Anything else? Or does that conclude your report?
That's the end of my report. Thank you very much.
All right, and just to kind of give everybody an idea right now, so we are financially we're at $14,000, which we started the year with. I believe we started the year at around like 5,000 or so. So we're significantly up. But as far as spending the $8,000 for, or sorry, from the mathathon, that is not something that we do a blanket check to the school. They have specific programs that they will want to fund, and it does come out of this particular line item. So I suppose that if we aren't able to expend all of that money this year, at the end of this year, then it would continue to go into a restricted line item for next year for items that are specifically designed for the school, pulling from that funds. Is that correct, Amy?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, excellent. All right, just want to be transparent with everybody on that. All righty, so going back really to the upcoming items, Spring Festival, we'll talk about that later. June, we do need to change the date for the June meeting, and that is also going to be when we have the elections. So skipping forward to the calendar, which everybody should be able to see on my screen now. Normally we'd have it June 13th, but school ends the week before. So my recommendation, when does school specifically end, Leslie?
June 10th. Sorry, I was looking at my calendar. I thought we already picked a date. I thought we said the 7th.
Yeah,
I have it on my calendar
like
for the 7th.
I think that's what we talked about changing. I don't know that we officially did. So I don't think that we really need a motion to change that, but just to be on the safe side, is there a motion of unanimous consent to move the meeting from June the 12th to June June 13th to June 7th?
I motion. This is Karen.
All right, Karen, and if there are no objections, then it is so ordered, and we will have our PTA meeting now. Instead of the 14th, we'll have it on the 7th. All right, Lauren, I got the minutes up here just to save you some time. So you want to go through and I'll do the slow scroll. You're on mute.
Yep, I was on mute. You don't need to hear my kids. So yeah, treasurer's report. We got our Amazon Smile quarterly money, which is always good. We're averaging $30 a month from Papa John's. We dealt with electing our members of nominating committee, spring fair updates as of last month, still looking for volunteers. Administration, we went through the upcoming mathathon, which is done. Kindergarten orientation is done. 5th grade field trip is coming up. Picture day happened, and all of our upcoming volunteer activities. So is there a motion to approve? Unanimously would be lovely.
I motion.
All right, Karen motions. Is there a second? No seconds to approve?
I can second if I'm allowed. I'm a member, right?
All right, sure. Yeah, Leslie seconds. All right, any discussion? All right, any corrections? Okay, yeah, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. All right, the motion, any abstentions? All right, motion carries, minutes are approved. talked about the treasurer's report already. Any committee reports from anyone? I know Dan is not really able to talk much because I think he's currently working. So if Tiffany's out for fundraising, I know the big fundraiser we got coming up is Encanto. Again, please pre-order some of the food, check out the flyer, and then we'll have it on our Facebook page as well and on our website. Karen, anything from enrichment?
We just want to talk about the spring fair, which I think we were going to let Mrs. C take a chance to talk about that.
Correct. Alrighty. Any other things from enrichment or any other things from any of the other board members? All right. So we got Leslie getting updates from the administration, and then we'll go into the spring festival.
You want to let Missy can go first because she's got more exciting information than me. The spring festival is exciting. Go ahead, Missy.
All right, sounds good. Well, the spring fair this year is brand new to North Springfield. We're super, super excited to have it here. It's going to be on a Friday after school on May 13th. We do have a rain date of May 20th, just in case we get any inclement weather on the 13th. We're going to have plenty of different games for the kids to play. For all ages, lots of activities as well. Some of these activities are going to be free and some of them are going to be paid. The way that we're going to have the payments is we're going to have tickets. Tickets are going to be sold for $1 each ticket. We are going to have pre-sale tickets available. And we are definitely going to have food as well. We're going to have some concessions, which will include popcorn and cotton candy and different things like that, as well as food trucks. We're going to have a couple of food trucks there too. So parents can bring their kids and hopefully stay for the full time. We are going to have a DJ. I think he just left, but we're going to have a DJ there. As well as, like I said, lots of different activities. And we have been meeting every week, it feels like, just to kind of nail everything down and have a wonderful theme and everything. The playground's going to be open as well. It's open to all the families as well as, siblings and anybody else who wants to come, members of the community. We're going to be advertising that soon. We wanted to make sure that the Encanto fundraiser kind of passes before we start advertising for the spring fair. But we are going to be sending out a volunteer sign-up sheet, a Google or a sign-up, oh my goodness, what's the thing? The sign up online. Thank you. Yes, for volunteers, and we're going to be doing it in a 1 hour increments, hoping that people will be able to volunteer for an hour and then also spend an hour with their kids. We really want to make sure that it's a community event to bring everybody together. So we don't want everybody volunteering for the whole time. We are going to be sending that out a little later on next week, I believe. So look for that in your email to come. And then we're also going to have some different events that are happening. We may possibly have a band and strings performing. We're still looking into that, as well as a martial arts demo and a tree dedication from 5th grade. So lots and lots of fun things coming down the pipeline for the spring fair. We're looking forward to it. I don't know if anybody has any specific questions or if Lauren or Karen want to jump in about anything else, but we're very, very excited. We're hoping that everybody's going to be able to come and participate in some way or another and enjoy and just spend time together as a community, bring everybody back together after all this pandemic business.
I would say our 2 confirmed food trucks are pretty darn good. Looking for a third. East Coast Creamery and the Big Cheese. So there'll be like a $4 kids grilled cheese among other grown-up stuff, but it was a good price point for kiddos and family friendly.
Grilled cheese can still be an adult food.
Well, they also have more adult ones with fancy things, but.
Yeah, we're really excited. We've been working really hard on it. I think we're going to have a really good time. And I think most importantly, the kids are going to have a blast.
I agree.
Indeed. Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how successful it's going to be, and I know it's going to be fantastic. And And if it rains, then we'll have a backup date. So it can't rain on both days, but it'll be fantastic, I'm sure. So
Do we have any questions about it from anybody? Okay.
All right, more info to come.
all righty.
Thank you for joining us, Mrs. C. Go enjoy the birthday boy, it seems like.
You're welcome. I am. I'm going to go help tuck him in.
Nice, happy birthday to him.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. C, for coming to the call.
Take care. All right. Leslie, you're up.
All right. I'm so excited about the spring fair and this committee because they're working really hard. So thank you all. I think just a couple of things from us. It's hard to believe we're in the fourth quarter. This year has flown by. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but we feel like it's flown. I cannot believe we're in fourth quarter. But we are about to get real busy in testing season. SOLs are going to start May 3rd. So if you have a third, fourth, or fifth grader, you received an email from me and e-notify with the dates of when they're testing. They're also posted on our website. I've mentioned these, I think, in the last meeting as well, but we'll just try to avoid to be absent on a day that your kid is testing. Obviously, if they're sick, we understand, but you know, vacations, trips, if you could avoid those on days of assessment, that would be helpful. If you're not going to be there, we can always do makeup, so don't worry about it. In terms of other things going on in the school that, you know, we don't have a fifth grade play this year, but we are doing a fifth grade talent show. So that will be happening in June 2nd in the evening. Everybody's welcome to come watch our fifth graders. And then kindergarten is also doing a program. They've done it in the past. They didn't get to do it the past 2 years because of the pandemic, but this year they will be doing a kindergarten program. Currently, we're looking at June 3rd, but that's always subject to change, but that's what's on the calendar right now. You'll get information from the kindergarten teachers as it gets closer, but if you are a parent of a kindergartner, it's the cutest thing ever. They always put on a great show and it's really, really exciting to watch. And then also our fifth grade, we're going to have our promotion ceremony on June 9th. So I know it seems like far away, but it's really not. It'll be before you know it. So we want to make sure we get all those on the calendar. You know, in the past, last year, we had restrictions on numbers of guests. Currently, we're not going to have those restrictions, but as we all know in this world, that could change. So just keep our fingers and toes crossed that we'll be able to not have to restrict, you know, family members. We usually limit it. You know, last year we were only allowed to have 2, either parent or sibling, grandparent with the child, and then they sat together and we were all spaced 6 feet apart. So that'll be a little bit different this year, hopefully, but we'll share more information about that as it gets closer to the date. And then the last thing I was going to share was just thank you for everybody who donated and your support for the Mathathon. We can't believe how much money we raised in a week. And it was really all from you all. So we really, really appreciate it. The kids had fun. As everybody said earlier, there's some growing pains. There's some things we're going to do differently next year. But for the first time ever doing something like that, you know, we think it went pretty well and we look forward to doing it better and next year. So that's it for me. Does anybody have any questions related to school or things going on?
Sorry, Leslie, what did you say again was June 2nd instead of the play?
The talent show, the fifth grade talent show.
Ah, that's right.
I think we have like
Thanks.
10 or 12 acts.
Really nice.
Yeah, so it should be exciting.
Very cool. All right. Any questions for Leslie? No, we got a little bit of a shorter meeting today than the usual ones. If that's the case, then don't quite have a topic for our May 10th meeting, but our next PTA meeting is slated to be May 10th. It's always the second Tuesday of the month, except for June. Again, movie night is coming up, so definitely could use some volunteers for that. I'll defer to Lauren and Karen about what needs there are for that. There's also some other fundraiser in the spring. It's the spring fair. It's not really a fundraiser per se, but you know, could use some volunteers for that, which I think is so important. I got it on there twice. And then always could use a restaurant night coordinator, that would be very helpful. That's an ongoing commitment, and all you do is essentially call the restaurants and schedule fundraising events for us. And then, of course, we have a wellness committee as well. Lauren, Karen, anything, or Leslie, anything you want to add about what the wellness committee is, or if there's any update on that?
So I would say the spring fair is one facet of the wellness committee. There are all different heads. So like Mrs. Fawcett is dealing with some stuff in terms of like gardens for the schools, things like that. There is a committee dedicated to teacher wellness, which is important, and doing different things to support the teachers and not the kids, because happy teachers, hopefully happy kids. Assemblies, which we've struggled on some dates and stuff, and we're working on that. But it's the bigger committee, I would say, that houses the Spring Fair Committee as one of the ones we talk about more, but there are other things. So yeah, different ways to support our teachers, different ways to support our communities. Yeah, Karen, what am I missing as a general?
It's pretty much, I mean, you pretty much hit all of it. So yeah. And we're going to keep working over the summer on more things that we can do. It's going to be, hopefully it will be easier with less COVID restrictions. We can do some more and get some more programs going.
Yeah, I know Mrs. Fawcett was talking about community gardens for grade levels, and I haven't talked to her lately about that, but maybe some help over the summer, keeping up with one of the gardens, if not more. So we'll see. More to
I know
come.
she had the Girl Scouts at a big presentation for Chad about composting, and they're trying to come up with a way to get that going. And I think there was some of that talking about that for the gardens over the summer as well.
That's awesome.
What? Yeah, and of course, Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up in May, so we'll be working on some stuff that we can do with that as well.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to bring one other thing up. You reminded me, Lauren, just a plug for a community cleanup day that is going to be on April 23rd, sort of touching on Earth Day theme. But I am not able to pull the flyer up. It's my computer is acting slow here. But
I think I can pull it up. Give me 1 second. I can probably pull it up.
Got it. I got it.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So just a kind of quick overview of that. So Spruce Up North Springfield, this is being organized by the North Springfield Civic Association. So we're going to meet at the North Springfield Swim Club pool. There'll be coffee, donuts, water provided, and each family will get 2 paper waste bags and just essentially go throughout the community and help clean it up. There is a sign up genius. I can put the link in the chats for you. But that's essentially it. Point of contact is Dana Sobolski, and that's her phone number there. So we'll make the flyer available on our Facebook page if it's not already, and just make sure that hopefully everybody can show up and help clean up your neighborhood, clean up our neighborhood.
My Girl Scout troop will be there, so we would love to see anybody else from North Springfield Elementary School.
Awesome. All right, so let me get the sign up genius in the chats really quickly. So there it is. All right. So that said, is there anything else that anybody wants to bring up for the evening, or should we call for a motion of unanimous consent to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All righty. So without objection, it is so ordered, and we are adjourned. So thank you all so much. Have a great evening, and we'll see you again at movie night on April 22nd, and then again at our next PTA meeting on May 10th.
Great. Thank you, Ken. Have a good night.
Take care.